Yo! Today I'm going to show you how to create a powerful animation like this. Does it look complicated? No, it's not complicated at all, but actually it's easier than you think. So let's jump into After Effects and I'll tell you everything. To start, of course, we'll create a new composition, so that we have some quality headroom. Or this might come in handy. Let's set it to 10 seconds, 30 frames per second, and we'll start our creation with a simple shape, the maximum. We'll start with something simple. Let's create a shape, an ellipse, and add a fill. And we'll increase the size, about 500. Next, let's move it, of course. A circle will be on the person. And next, we need to add a gradient. We're going to add the gradient in an unusual way. Specifically, we click on our fill, right on the text fill. And here we choose a linear gradient. And here we have this kind of gradient. The downside of this gradient is that we need to adjust it right here. That is, not in effects, as it can usually be done, for example, in 4-color gradient. But here it's a little different. And let's assign it this kind of gradient. I already have a few colors prepared here. Here we have warm colors, and on the right side there's blue and purple. After that, the sliders appear right. They should appear somewhere around here now. If they're not there, you can find them right here. Endpoint. And the beginning. We need something like this. Let's go with this. And next we need to animate this shape, this gray one. First, we also need to animate the scale. So we press S for scale. Let's move on just a few frames. And we increase its scale. Let's set it to 300. Also, we need to animate the position. We open it, press Shift and P, and it opens our position so we can see both the scale and the position. We also set a key, second key, and a little we animate it upwards. Maybe even a little more. Let's see what we've got. Maybe even a little more. Let's go. Up to 10 frames. And we will also have the animation graph. Let's try 85. For our graphics, the animation graph will look something like this. And also, next, we add a null object, select our circle, and using the motion tool, we add the null object. And around this moment, we start animating. Animate. Let's move to P1. And we move to the second, 20 frames. I think we need to increase it more and decrease the position. It should be exactly 4. Let's 400, and we'll animate it like this. So down. F9. Animation graph, let's set it to 85. Also, let's see what comes out. So, I see that the animation here is too long. Let's shorten it. And there should also be an explosive effect here. So, I think we should even stretch this animation a bit. Move the keys here, select them. Let's do F9 and create a different animation graph, more in this direction. And here is this animation graph on the contrary. Let's do F9. And it goes more to the right side. And maybe we'll even do it like this. Slow it down a bit. We need more dynamics. And I think we'll turn it back a bit, like this. But let's place it closer, like this. We'll leave the animation like this. We'll leave the animation like this for now, and then we'll make more adjustments. Next, we need to animate the text. For this, let's temporarily turn off all our animation. And let's write, for example, I'll write motion. Let's just go with motion. I'll choose the font Delagothic 1. Motion. I'll make the font bigger. Next, I select the text, right-click with the mouse, and choose Create Shapes from Text. We have created. Our text is turned into a shape. And next, we need to make it so that these letters are separated into each shape. To do this, we select our curves. And in the Motion tool, we click Extract. And we can see that all our curves, our letters, have been moved into separate shapes. And now we need to animate them. We click on the square bracket to move them a bit forward on the timeline. And next, we need to animate these letters. Let's go for, we'll rearrange them in the correct order. In a different order, all our letters. Motion. We select, we open P, and we move on. For now, let's keep it 1 second ahead. We set the second key. We animate from the bottom. We move to the second key. We animate upwards. Let's move on for another second. And we copy our keys, select them, and click clone. So our animation went up, then went down. I think 2 seconds for the animation will be too much. Now we will fix this. Oh, even here it's wrong. We need to adjust it a bit so that we have 1 second and 1 second, so our animation is balanced. So we select it, press F9, and review the animation graphs. Let's do it this way, we'll set it to 85. From this side, let's move it to 70. And from this side, we'll also move the animation graph to 70. We select the central point. Let's zoom in. We click on keyframe, hover over this point, click keyframe velocity, and select continuous. This way, our animation won't stop in the center. And we raise the key a bit higher. And here's what we end up with. This is the animation looks like. Let's see how it will be with our first animation. This part of the animation should already disappear at this point. I guess we'll cut this. Ctrl-Shift-D. Let's move the text animation to the beginning. Select all keys. And with Alt, we'll just simply drag it easily and smoothly like this with precision and care to the desired position. Ctrl-Shift-D. I think we need to stretch the animation a bit. It's coming out too fast. Here, roughly. Here, we need to match up this height and this height of the second part. If I move this, right. Next, we need to have the letters appear one by one. So, let's quickly trim each letter, frame by frame. Let's do this manually, so we don't have to move it later. Animation frames. And to make it more dynamic, I think we'll even cut it a bit more, like this. And we'll move our animation to the left. Let's a little more. Looks good. Then if we need to fix anything else. Next we need this text to was also duplicated with a gradient on the other. On the second, on the background. That's exactly why we converted our text to curves. So for that, let's do the following. Let's highlight our text, our Puno curves. Ctrl-Shift-C. Let's add it. In Pre-Compose. Then we duplicate our Pre-Compose right here in this part and paste it here again. Let's move it a bit to the right. By 2 frames, let it be. And here we see that our text, the second one, moves a bit and appears later. Let's place it underneath and move to this composition. And we'll add the gradient that we prepared earlier to each text. And here we have our sliders, which can quickly adjust the gradient. We do this for each letter. Here we quickly turned on the gradient for all the letters. And now we need to specifically to adjust its placement. So here we highlight the letter, gradient. We have these little unseen sliders coming out. They're a little hard to see, but I think you'll see them. You can also do this manually as shown in shape settings. In the actual shape settings, and here we get these gradient letters. The text should appear and disappear at that very moment, so we'll cut it there. And we'll create another layer for the gradient, and we'll move it 4 frames up. Every 2 frames. So we'll get this effect. Next, we complete this circle. And we'll move it right here. More precisely, like this. Let's remove the entire scale position. And let's animate it. Actually, no, let's do it differently. Let's duplicate this circle like this, And it's the moment where it gets cut off here. Let's trim it the other way. But now let's select it, the position, and move it right here. And let's stretch the animation a bit. Let's make this animation. At this moment, we need to draw a spring like this. I prepared a spring. I just took a screenshot of it and increased its scale roughly so that it shifts just right for me, right here. This is done so that it's easier to recreate the shape. And I'm just drawing along its outline, a regular pen tool. Approximately along its outline. A regular pen tool. Let's take the fill. Let's build a gradient. And just like that, we're setting up the placement of the gradient. Let's change the gradient a bit because it's a bit different here. Let's have something like this. So let's delete the screenshot and let's adjust the gradient a bit. Too much. Let's make it bigger, a red-orange one. Now let's gradually increase it to like 30 lines. Let's move it with a square bracket here. And next we need to animate. So we open the shape. We click the key on the path. And then let's highlight the path. Let's move over here. Somewhere at the end. Here we set the key. The end refers to this animation. We highlight the path, press Ctrl+T, and we lower our spring down to this point. And we'll get something like a spring animation based on the scale. But now we will fix the animation graph. What kind of animation graph do we have here exactly? We'll probably need to do it like this, copy the animation graph, and make it easy. But here, make a pass. The maximum. And let's probably ease up the graph a bit. Here, something like that. Or we can do it differently. Make it 85. And to match it, the animation aligns. This way will work well too. The animation came together. This way will work well too. And next, we need to create a discard of this circle animation. We continue, and we'll create a discard. Let's do it like this approximately. Let's set a key. And we also select the groove, Ctrl-T, and we're animating a spring upwards, something like this. We're copying this animation curve. Let's select these second keys. Let's set easy. Something went wrong. Let's do it this way. This looks good. Let's do the same thing. Keyframe velocity continuous. Let's lift the sensitivity up so that our animation doesn't stop. Probably too much. So this is what we get. If we do it this way. So the keys, after all, I think should align. And here we'll lower it a bit because it doesn't hold enough in this spot. And we'll animate the position from the circle back. It's like a release is happening. Copying this animation curve, paste it here. If we do it this way, so that the animation is completely identical. Easy. And we'll make a bigger distortion for the spring. A bit too much. And at the very highest moment, as you can see, we are currently in the process of trimming. We're adjusting our circle again. We're dragging it over here. We're taking all the keys at the beginning and we give it the same animation for the position. For the position and rotation. Let's set the keys. Let's animate. Like this. How many here? 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. And we animate the position and rotation. Next, we can actually do the rotation. Oh no, let's animate further. And we copy the keys. And we insert it here. More precisely, the animation graph. Exactly. Like that, and at this moment, we've trimmed, and here's what we get. And let's also set the velocity. Continuous. But we don't need to adjust the scale. We don't need to adjust the rotation. Here, we'll just set it to 85, and we'll delete this key. And maybe F9, even. Or let's go with F scenes. Like this, maybe. Let's set this to 120. Here, dus forward. The number is 275, which is a significant figure in this context. Let's also make the rotation continuous. Let's do it like this. I know what the problem is. We'll delete this key and leave it. Here's the animation graph. Detta. And it turned out that we continued the animation with even more intricate and comprehensive details and nuances. Our rapid transition. And that's it. This is the animation we created. I hope everything was clear and interesting. Feel free to ask in the comments and also subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for your attention.